Welcome to the channel, I'm FaZeCast, and today we're going to rank every hero in Island War on a tier list. But keep in mind, heroes are new to the game and subject to buffs and nerfs. And on top of that, it's currently very expensive to obtain a high level hero, especially legendary heroes. So I'm just going to rank every hero due to how useful they are at low levels, and based on my experience with the developers and their other games like Art of War Legions, which I've been making videos about since 2019. In the future, when heroes can be purchased or obtained differently, we can make a new tier list ranking them all, so make sure to subscribe to the channel if you want to see that. In the C tier all by himself is Robin Hood. Robin Hood is one of the heroes that is also in Art of War Legions, Art of War Legions being another game by the same developers, and in Art of War Legions he's not that great. I think he's a little better in Island War. His shards are very easy to get, he has decent skills that can increase his own attack speed and cause damage to the enemy over time, and there is a probability that he will shoot 3 arrows at once. I ranked him as the lowest hero in Island War because I just simply think there are other heroes that are better, and you may be better off saving experience potions and skill tomes for those other heroes. However, there are a lot of people using Robin Hood. In the B tier are Zeller, Kid, and Dullahan. Zeller is fun to use if you time his backlash skills cooldown to when you drop off a raft of assassins, because at low levels he doesn't have a lot of HP and will dive into the enemy, so having assassins beside him can keep him alive longer and allows him to use his venom coating skill, which causes damage and reduces the enemy's attack power by a percentage more efficiently. Kid's gun support skill summons shelling that causes damage to multiple enemy targets, and his corrosion penetration skill will reduce the enemy's defense by a percentage for a short duration. The defense reduction may not seem like a lot, but in other games, this is sometimes effective against bosses, and anything that buffs or debuffs at a percentage opposed to a flat number will typically scale up well when leveling up. I think Dullahan has really cool skills and may be useful at high levels. For example, his Burning Death skill will insta-kill enemies whose health is lower than a certain percentage. However, there is a hero called the Grim Reaper in Art of War, a game by the same developers if you missed that earlier, and he also insta-kills enemies when they reach a certain percentage, but he's never really been sufficient enough to be recognized as a good hero. But if you are going up against a low troop count army and can keep Dullahan alive, which may be hard to do since he does deal melee damage, you may be able to find success. In the A tier are Green, Freyr, Siren, and Athena. Green is a hero in Art of War and Island War, and in both games he's a healer. But in Island War, Green has a unique skill called Mocking Tree that taunts the enemy and increases his own defense by a percentage for a duration of time. In comparison to Art of War, there is a legendary hero called Beowulf who also taunts the enemy, but he's not great because he can easily get taken out when everyone targets him. What I like most about Green is that he's easy to get, can heal his team, and can heal himself. Healers are often important for offense and defense, and Green is probably more of a healer than Siren, who additionally buffs and debuffs the enemy. Green also has better basic stats than Siren, but he's a melee hero who taunts the enemy, as opposed to Siren who deals nearby range damage, so he needs those extra hit points and whatnot to stay alive. His ranged healing can also be sporadic. When Green attacks, there's a probability to heal nearby allies, as opposed to Siren, who heals allies every 18 seconds. Freyr has a unique skill that I think might be useful against some bosses and in some infinite trial levels, and that's the Horn Valor skill. The Horn Valor skill increases the attack power of allies by a percentage, and if used correctly, this skill may attribute to a lot of damage in a short period of time. Heroes that increase the attack power of allied troops in Art of War are usually really good, especially in game modes that include enemy bosses. In addition, his Swine Charge will charge at the enemy and stun them for a few seconds, and it can be controlled. If you manually activate his active skill while he is facing a certain direction, he will charge in that direction, and this can help keep him alive in game modes like Infinite Trial, where he may run into groups of enemy troops and quickly die. So using him on auto may not be the best choice if you want to keep him alive longer at lower levels. I recently heard that some people don't like Siren, and that's fine, but if you need a healer with special abilities, she's a great choice. Siren heals allies at a flat number about 6 times in 3 seconds every 18 seconds. In addition, her demoralizing time skill will reduce the target's defense by a percentage, which is typically good against bosses, and her Voice of Nostalgia skill will increase the movement speed of allies in the area, which can be good because the troops are slow in Island War, so increasing their movement speed might keep them alive and help clear a base quicker. In addition, she has team healing controlled by a cooldown timer, unlike Green, who may heal sporadically or not at all. Furthermore, her range damage approach can keep her off the front lines and away from enemy firepower. Although it's not long range, she typically sits behind melee troops like Frost Titans and Giants. Athena is a hero that is also in Art of War Legions, and they're very different in both games aside from the use of a shield. I really like Athena. She's probably my favorite hero in the game, but I don't think she is the best at this point in time. Athena's Goddess Return active skill will make her leap to the enemy, damage them, and knock them back, but in the process, she can get herself killed, and she does nothing to buff allies, so she's in the A tier right now. I do find that she can work well on defense as she will leap to the back of the enemy and essentially knock them back, which can cause delay and briefly distract them. In the S tier are Modgud, Ymir, Hoder, and Odin. Modgud deals range damage and has a skill called Undead Summon that resurrects troops as skeleton warriors. He's very useful in clan hunting and on attack due to his summoning capabilities. If you use paired troopers to distract the enemy, this gives you an extra distraction and extra power. He's really good at low levels, especially since legendary heroes are hard to get, but in the future he might drop down the list. Ymir's Earth Shatter skill causes damage and freezes the enemy for several seconds. His Frost Aura skill reduces the attack speed of nearby enemy units by a percentage, and his Frost Armor skill increases the defense of a friendly unit by a percentage for several seconds. When active in an army, he will walk in the front lines alongside Frost Titans and Giants, so his Frost Armor skill that triggers every 2 normal attacks may work well when applied to a troop with high HP, or any troop for that matter if your troop count is low. What I like about this hero is that he freezes the enemy and reduces their attack speed, which can essentially help you keep your army alive longer. A lot of top players like this guy. Hoder is a mix of different heroes in Art of War Legions like Apollo, Ali, Drake, and others who deal lasting damage to an area. In their other games, this can be useful for decimating mobs. Hoder also has a skill called Dark Raven, where he summons a crow causing damage to the enemy, which is kind of similar to Dracula in Art of War. So I do see how he is designed, and in understanding the minds of the developers, he was potentially designed to be a top tier hero who works well on offense and defense, and possibly in some infinite trial levels. Odin is another hero that is in Art of War Legions, but he's currently unreleased. However, as a beta tester for the studio, I was able to test him for over a year. In Art of War, he worked great at dealing a lot of damage and killing enemy heroes. In Island War, he is a little different, but his skills look great. For example, his Purge skill deals damage, increases the damage taken by the enemy, and then damages them again for even more damage. His Avatar skill increases his own attack power, defense power, and causes his attacks to cause area damage. He's essentially a one-man wrecking crew who can possibly be useful on attack, maybe defense, and in various game modes. Thank you so much for watching this Island War hero tier list video. I want to know who your favorite heroes are and how you would rank them. Would you rank anything differently? Leave a comment below to let me and others know. I also want to mention that these rankings are subject to change at any time as the game progresses and heroes become more obtainable or get buffed and nerfed, which this developer is famous for doing in other games. They often buff, they often nerf, you never know what's going to happen. Anyway, if you want to see more Island War videos, make sure to subscribe to the channel. Have a good day, I'll see you guys later.